Hello, welcome to another video here on Roy B. Man of Merlin. And this one I'm going to be talking about Stonehenge essentially, and the energies that you can find in and around that area, because as you'll find out later in the video, Stonehenge is not the powerful place that it's made out to be. It's definitely not the power in that area. Why do I know that? Well, originally being from England and having this energy of Merlin that is associated with all of those kinds of things through myth, legend, reality, fact, whichever of those that you choose to believe in, that's entirely up to you, of course. But also that I was actually on the land and literally at Stonehenge in August. And yes, I know it's now November. Lots has happened since then. I had to get back to Australia and all those kinds of things that I don't need to go into. So, anyway, Stonehenge, that draw and where people go at summer solstice or even winter solstice, and it draws modern druids and hippies and all kinds of manner of people, and obviously tourists throughout the year. Maybe not winter because England gets really cold. Anyway, I'm digressing, not getting on to the point which I'm about to start getting into now. Stonehenge, yes, energetically. If you've ever visited Stonehenge, the energy of it is a really interesting feel for those that are energy sensitive, for the empaths, for star seeds, spiritual people, psychics, mediums. There's definitely an energy there. Now, when me and my partner went there in August, there was something dark, a dark energy underlying there that I felt personally was connected to the ley lines. The ley lines are basically energetic superhighways that grid Mother Earth, that go through all kinds of religious and spiritual buildings and locations. The pyramids, Stonehenge, lots of churches are built on ley lines. No coincidence there. I mean, that's a whole conspiracy theory video on itself. But Stonehenge's energy, it's definitely portal energy too. There's some sort of gateway, and whether you choose to believe in the reptilian side of things and that underbelly of Mother Earth, there's a connection there too. But that was severed. As really strong, gifted, insightful, attuned psychics, you do end up doing a lot of esoteric work. Esoteric work is basically dream time or vision work during the day, where you tune into the energy of a place and feel what's there and adapt accordingly. You step into almost like your superpower being version of me. That's Merlin, and the quintessential wizard energy, and we're there to help raise the vibration of Mother Earth. And by doing that, it's about clearing away the dark that's also ready to be cleared, because dark, we're in a universe and a planet of duality, dark versus light, but not dark versus light as in win versus lose, but keeping the balance. That they're there, you can't have one without the other. Just take the most basic simplicity of a light switch. If you're in an absolutely sealed room and you turn the light off, there's dark. You can't have dark without having light in that strange concept. So, in regards to the energy below Stonehenge, there was that dark and light, and because we're really getting into the flow of the age of Aquarius and coming into 1,000 years of light, because the age of a Pisces is 1,000 years of dark, it means the dark forces, when you follow conspiracy, which a lot of that truth's becoming truth these days. Quick joke for you: what's the difference between a conspiracy theorist and the truth? About 3 to 6 months. That was one of my favourite during that period a couple of years ago. Anyway, moving on from the spiritual humour. The energy is getting cleansed, which means that what was hidden is now coming to the light. The people are rising up. And energy centres like Stonehenge are having an enormous influence on that. However, as the video title suggests, Stonehenge isn't the power portal that you think it is, that it's been made out to be. There's actually actually a couple of locations nearby that hold much more significance, but because they're not like the mainstream tourist thing, it's like they're not so pretty, for instance, they don't look as striking and you can't drive past them on a road. They don't get the same exposure. The one I'm about to talk about, actually, you can literally drive through it on a road, actually, because it splits between a little road that goes through a village. So when I was in that area, there's so much historical significance and energetic sites. It's just incredible. So I'll talk about the first one that is literally probably 2 fields away. It's I think it's about a 10 to 15 minute walk as the crow flies from Stonehenge to this other henge called Woodhenge. The thing with Woodhenge, it's actually quite small. Actually, thinking about it, it's probably about the same size in area-wise as Stonehenge, but it's just not tall. They're not tall pie-shaped structure. When I say pi, I'm talking about the mathematical symbol of pi. Now, the significance of Woodhenge, and we spoke to a guy there who's an expert on that, talks about how Woodhenge, the different heights of the small little plinths signify pi and the golden ratio, and why the Egyptian pyramids are at the height they are, and so many other things. It's just incredible that how they built that. All this, how did they know how to build those things? Well, I truly believe that the technology back then, we weren't cavemen, we weren't working with hammers and chisels. We were a lot more technologically advanced from an energetic perspective. So with that being said, that's how we knew how to build these things. Now, my feeling around that, because it was some sort of portal, it was a portal between worlds, almost like Stargate, for instance. And Stonehenge was almost like almost like the airport. My mind's gone blank. The control tower of the airport. To me, that's what Stonehenge, but it wasn't actually the airport. And it wasn't actually the main map. It was almost like a smaller airport. It's almost like, depending on where you are in the world, it's not your main country's airport hub, it's one of the smaller ones. So, Heathrow is England's major hub, whereas East Midlands, not quite so much. East Midlands Airport, not quite so much. But so Stonehenge is kind of like East Midlands Airport, whereas Woodhenge, again, is another, it's almost like a different terminal of the main airport. It's the directional, it's what the spaceships would connect to know where to go to next. It's almost like part of a star map, Woodhenge. So they knew if they needed to go to the pyramids or other energetic, significant sites, they knew which direction to head after coming through the Stargate. Now, the main energetic power in that area, and this is only maybe a 10-minute drive from Stonehenge, if that, and it's Avebury Stone Circle. If you've never been, is it Avebury or Amesbury? Avebury Stone Circle. It is enormous. It covers like 4 or 5 fields in size. And compared to Stonehenge and the energy difference. So if you've never been to England and you're planning to go to Stonehenge, make sure that you also go to Woodhenge and you also go to Avebury Stone Circle, which is another henge. And yes, again, it doesn't have the striking looks of Stonehenge, but there are some big plinths there, and the stone circles themselves are huge. And I also felt a lot of it's still hidden, and the energy of it and the size of it, plus all the burial mounds or potentially burial mounds that are surrounding it too, are what make Avebury Stone Circle, the Avebury Henge, far more significantly powerful in an energetic sense than Stonehenge. and it just doesn't. The simplicity of it just doesn't get the press. It doesn't get the tourism. But when you go there and you are energy sensitive, it's just incredible. Like the hairs on the back of my head when just stood up, my whole body energetically lit up like an absolute beacon. And I was getting lightheaded, like I was just getting this absolute download of what it used to be, of what its purpose was. It was the main airport. It is the main energy centre of England. Absolutely 100%. And personally, from a spiritual perspective, I'm glad it's not the main centre of attention. I'm glad that people sort of go to the smaller airport or the smaller Stargate and muddle the energy around there. And they're not fully aware of Avebury Stone Circle. Another thing that's also interesting in that area, there's also 8 white horses carved into the hills in all that area. So the whole area of Wiltshire is just powerfully energetic. You've also got Glastonbury in that area, the marshes of Avalon Marshes, and I've mentioned Glastonbury Tor, Cheddar Gorge, which is just this roadway between 2 high cliffs, which aren't, it's tiny in comparison to the Grand Canyon, but for England, it's actually a really significant place. And there's so many other little henges around and significantly built markers. And it's no coincidence that they're all in that area. And even the population is quite small in that area. When you travel further afield, you've also got Tintagel Castle, which is the rumoured place of Merlin's cave. Now, being very, very connected to the energies of Merlin, I went to Tintagel, and it's not Merlin's cave. I believe he visited there. I believe he went there for ceremonies. It felt that was King Arthur's birthplace, but it definitely wasn't the place of Camelot. I feel that was Holyhead. And I know we're getting off the Stonehenge stuff here. I could do a whole video on that, which I might well do, because that also links into Excalibur and where that was forged. So I do believe that Tintagel Castle was a significant place for ceremony, and also the birthplace of King Arthur, and where he grew up, and where Merlin tutored him and raised him how to be a king. But it wasn't Camelot, the famed Camelot. It wasn't that castle of King Arthur. It was just where he grew up. Anyway, getting back to Stonehenge. If you're an energy sensitive and never been and you want to go, make sure that if you do go, that you also go to Woodhenge and Avebury and visit some of the white horses as well. You could spend a couple of weeks there visiting all the little henges and all the little landmarkers. I think there's one called the Devil's Marker or something like that that's also in that area. Some are a bit more challenging to get to than others because they don't have tourism and buses and clear and obvious walkway. But use your intuition. Tune into what's there. It's an amazing, amazing energetic place that will upgrade you. I certainly ended up with an energetic and light being upgrade while I was at Avebury. Not while I was at Stonehenge. When I was at Stonehenge, I was like, okay, what am I here for? And it was to clean the energy of underneath it, to clean the ley lines, so that it's sending this positive energy out to the people, to the land. That's its purpose. It's an energetic amplifier these days. Whether it has anything to do with summer solstice, I'm not too sure. I know there's probably done a lot of research and people do gather on solstice and it does line up with some of the bigger ones, but the stones weren't always like that. So we truly don't know its purpose. However, its purpose is definitely energetic, especially these days. And now that it's not tainted by the darker energies and that it's pumping out this beautiful pure white light energy and lifting the vibration of the area, more and more people will probably get attracted to it, so they will receive that kind of passive energy cleanse. But definitely go to Avebury. Avebury is the key. Avebury is the main airport. Avebury is the power centre. So thank you very much. And if you'd like to work with me, please reach out. Remember to like and subscribe this video to follow so that you get notifications. Hit that notification bell so that you do get notified when I'm doing another video. So thank you very much. I appreciate all your support and all your views. Take care, and I'll see you again in the future. Thanks very much.